far as the discipline of the church is concerned, is always, of course, ultimately for the sake of inclusion. It is not in itself an end in itself. But discipline that is exercised in any way to exclude from sacrament, from the life of the church, from the exercise of ministry, whatever it may be, is designed or should be designed for restoration. And we must never forget that in any way. But sometimes discipline, effective discipline, needs to be exercised for the good of the whole church and even for the good of the person or the group that is disciplined. Now, somebody mentioned the instruments of communion yesterday, and the instruments of communion, as they are called, emerged for particular historical reasons. So the office of the Archbishop of Canterbury, of course, became more and more important as the communion grew and as there needed to be a focal point for such a widely dispersed fellowship of churches. That is perfectly understandable. And I think that responsibility was exercised in one way or another for about 150 years or so. What I think we must be clear about, and Robert Runcie was quite eloquent on this point, that we cannot invent a universal primacy. There is already a universal primate, whether we like him or not. And he said openly that he did not want another one. So that is not what it is. And any attempt to make it that will founder because in the end it is not of divine providence. The Lambert Conference, as I was saying, has had its uses. But when you reach a situation, as we did in 2008, where a third of the bishops were simply not there, I was among them, among those who were not there. And my reason for not being there, which I put to the Archbishop of Canterbury and to others, was that was not Bishop Gene Robinson himself, but the fact that those who had laid hands on him had been invited as participants without any attempt at discipline and restoration. That was my difficulty. Other people may have had other difficulties. I know that there were some people who actually went to the conference who were not comfortable there for various reasons. And because I happened to be in the neighboring diocese, many of them came to see me and tell me what was going on. So that way of gathering was not effective, A, because people weren't there, and B, because of the usual way of deciding, consulting and deciding did not take place. And as I was saying last night, instead we had Indaba. Now, I'm not at all sure what Indaba is, but it seems to me to be never-ending. And that, of course, militates against effective decision-making. The same is true of the primates meeting, that the primates are now unable to meet because it is insisted on the one hand that the primate of the Episcopal Church and one or two other churches be invited to that meeting. On the other hand, other primates insist that if they are invited, they will not attend. So there's an impasse. And no way for some years now has been found around it. The Anglican Consultative Council that. What sort of animal is it? I mean, it is certainly not synodal in the way that I've outlined, and it is not even synodical in the way in which that expression is understood by Anglicans. Successive Lambeth conferences had asked, for obvious reasons, for an enhanced role for the primate species. This has been at every step resisted and negated by the Anglican Consultative Council. And so we have reached a stage where decisions simply cannot be made. And even effective consultation cannot take place. So that's the situation with the instruments as they are. Archbishop Rowan Williams himself